The vision that inspires our work at VMMissions comes from Renovation 7, where a multitude from every culture gathers in worship before the throne of Jesus. We believe God wants us to direct our efforts toward that future vision even now. This past year, we launched a campaign to support new ministries reaching those most in need of the gospel. It's called A Church of Many Cultures. Jesus is building His church of many cultures, and He's inviting us to be part of it. Won't you join us?
Several years ago, the board began asking, what's the new thing the Lord wants VMMissions to do? If we say we want Jesus to lead, how can we position ourselves to catch the wind of the Spirit? And around that time, two things began happening. Some mission workers were asked to help start small businesses, but they didn't really have the training and support to do it. The other thing was that locally, immigrants were sharing their faith. People were coming to the Lord and churches were forming. VMMissions attracts young people who are anxious to share their faith and their gifts, and they don't want to do it alone. So let's get on board with what the Spirit wants to do and is already doing.
We live in an unprecedented moment of globalization and migration. What an opportunity to join God in launching this new generation of global church planters. Mission is multi-directional now. God is sending people from anywhere to anyone like never before. And this is especially true in the global church, where God has deposited a strong impulse for mission. But most of these workers face significant hurdles, lacking resources, relationships, and networks of support. And that's where we come in. Through training, grants, and support structures, we are creating an on-ramp for global church planters to share the gospel. We are helping them plant churches with the DNA of healthy church communities that multiply.
Alex llegó a la ciudad de Harrisonburg sin conocer a nadie. Él había sido separado de su familia en la frontera y llegó el día en que Alex pues necesitaba reunirse con su familia y yo lo acompañé a Alabama a traerlo allá. Se reunieron y pues regresamos y aquí estando en la ciudad de Harrisonburg consiguieron una casita donde vivir, una casita que estaba muy descuidada, ¿verdad? Pero la comunidad de fe, Grace, que es la iglesia anfitriona donde nos congregamos, se dio cuenta de la historia de Alex y decidieron ayudarle. Una ayuda que se volcó en favor de ellos en forma de ropa, juguete para niños, alimentos, ayuda económica y muebles. Al verse rodeado de tanto amor, él y su familia decidió quedarse en la iglesia menonita Monte Moriah y aceptaron ser discipulados. Les hicimos el llamado y pues mi esposa y yo los estuvimos discipulando este año, tanto así que la hermana Zenaida se bautizó este año, este verano, y la hija mayor de Alex también se bautizó y siguen sirviendo al Señor ahora en la música. Y Alex, él está sirviendo en la dirección de la alabanza, la música. Sí, la iglesia está muy feliz por eso, porque no teníamos músicos y el Señor nos envió a la iglesia.
Olá, meu nome é Andressa, eu sou membro e missionária da Igreja Batista Itaipu, em Foz do Iguaçu, Paraná, Brasil. Nesse momento eu estou em Chicoder, no norte da Albânia. Aos 16 anos de idade, enquanto eu participava de um culto de missões mundiais, na oportunidade um missionário que servia no contexto muçulmano estava enfatizando a necessidade dos povos não alcançados. Naquele momento eu não sabia o que eu faria, para onde eu iria e quando tudo aconteceria. Minha única certeza era que o Senhor estava me chamando e que o meu desejo era obedecê-lo. Então, assim como o profeta Isaías, a minha oração ao Senhor foi: Senhor, eis-me aqui, envia-me a mim. Eu cheguei no norte da Albânia, na cidade de Chicoder, com o objetivo de me unir a uma equipe de missionários com o intuito de servir no plantio de igrejas, servindo na área de evangelismo, discipulado, aconselhamento bíblico. Caminhando pelas ruas, eu percebo que há muita religiosidade aqui na Albânia, inclusive muitas vezes nominal. Mas a minha esperança é que eles conheçam o verdadeiro Deus e que adorem ao verdadeiro Deus. Mas a minha oração é que eu possa ser esse instrumento de bênção nesta nação. Sei que o Senhor tem as suas diversas formas de fazer isso e a minha esperança é que eu sempre esteja atenta e disposta a obedecê-lo.
We believe that work can be a form of Christian discipleship and a blessing to the world. So a couple years ago, VMMissions formed a Business for Transformation subsidiary. Let's call it our B4T board, to foster businesses that bless their communities, especially those least reached by the good news of Jesus. Christian-led businesses can create just employment and sustainable economic growth, even as they invite spiritual transformation through the gospel. Countries closed to traditional witness are often open to entrepreneurs, yet there are still many barriers to success. That's where our B4T board can help. We help leaders experienced in business, management, marketing, and lending to come alongside new entrepreneurs as they develop business plans, seek startup loans, and receive coaching for long-term success. Here are a few stories from our launch into this work.
In the fall of 2019, a group of us representing VMMissions Ministry in Business for Transformation, or B4T, visited the Balkans and Western Asia to meet with national believers who are also interested in business as kingdom blessing and witness. In one country, the local Christians shared with us both a problem and an opportunity. The problem was the lack of preschools that did not include education in the predominant religion of their country. And the opportunity was a market interest in preschools staffed by English-speaking teachers. These two things converged in what is now a for-profit bilingual preschool. And while not explicitly Christian, the school teaches from a biblical worldview. Last fall, VMMissions B4T subsidiary loaned this preschool $10,000 to get started. And this fall, the school is fully staffed with 32 students, nearly the benchmark needed to become a sustainable kingdom enterprise.
My name is Lazar and I'm living in Montenegro, ex-Yugoslavia. I'm 44 years old and I have a little shop doing iron, fitter welder, and that's how I earn money for living. It's very hard to trust ex-addicted people because we did a lot of things, a lot of bad things during our addiction, stealing, robbing, whatever, a lot of bad things. I recognize the most helpful thing for these people is trust. No one trusts them, So what we try to do here in my shop as a ministry to really give them a trust. Okay, I trust you. You can have keys from my house when I go somewhere to do something, take care of my house, that's something what help them a lot so they can feel, accept, which community really don't give. I did lose hope many times in these 10 years of my ministry, and I would call our leaders and tell them I'm done, I'm done, I cannot do it anymore. And then next day somebody else come back from rehab center and my heart is so warm for that guy and I cannot leave him alone, and I would call him, and that's how I recognize that this call is from God. I couldn't stop it, I even tried. God taught me one thing, that one man, one soul, it's huge. It's huge. Sometimes I would like to see 20, 30 or 50 people stay and follow Jesus Christ. It's out of 50 of them, there is 5. And God says, good, good, 5 people are saved.
At VMMissions, we see renovation as a form of innovation. Taking this storage barn and transforming it into a mission training center will give it a renewed purpose for a new generation of missional leaders. Glenn Stolzus is helping us turn this dream into a reality.
As a retired contractor, I always get excited when I can use the skills I've acquired over the years in the trades to help the church. After looking at the building, I was encouraged to see that the bones of the structure are in good shape. The foundation and roof need minimal work, and the building is pretty much the right size of what we need, and it can be made easily accessible.
I see it as part of our spiritual calling to bring new life into old spaces, and this barn will be that.
I'm excited about a space to pray, a space to gather together, a space that calls us, a space that's been purposed for prayer.
It's a reminder of what God does to our lives. He takes us where we are and fills us with new life through the Spirit.
New life is a focus of our work here, and to see that, a physical manifestation of that is pretty cool.
The larger meeting space is pretty exciting to me, just that we won't be limited by our current spaces that we have.
Yeah, I'm really excited about using this space to equip people for mission, hosting training events for new workers, training events for the church, and seeing people encouraged in their lives of discipleship.
Thanks for letting us share a few of the ways we're seeking to catch the wind of the Spirit. I'd like to invite you to support us in this vision. Your gift will help us provide startup loans for Christian entrepreneurs, grants for global church planters, and a training center for a new generation of missional leaders. Join us as we pursue God's dream of a church of many cultures.